The NBA's return to play protocol was announced. There were a lot of questions about how fair it was. With 8 games to finalize seeding, it made sense that they would include teams that had a chance to make the playoffs. But do these teams deserve to be on the court for this unprecedented return to sports? Let's get into it. The Phoenix Suns. The Suns went into the league hiatus 13 games under .500. And if you don't know what that means a positive record, or 50%. Which was the worst among all bubble teams in the Western Conference. They have a small chance to even make it close to the playoffs, which brings up the question of why they are even in Orlando. The league is taking a risk by including players in the bubble that have no business being there. With all of the risk already being taken, adding teams like the Suns just adds to the fragility that is the state of the bubble. The San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs, like the Suns, were not a good team. They've suffered numerous injuries that will certainly take them out of contention, but giving them a chance to make the playoffs is a good storyline for Greg Popovich. He has coached San Antonio to the playoffs for more than 20 straight seasons, and fans will love to watch the Spurs fight to keep that streak alive. That being said, without that story, they don't deserve to play. The Sacramento Kings and New Orleans Pelicans. Even though they have the same record as the New Orleans Pelicans, the Kings should be left out of the bubble. The reason New Orleans is given a chance to compete is simple: Zion Williamson. The Kings won't have the same national attention the Pelicans will receive. If the Pelicans make the playoffs as the 8th seed, a Zion versus LeBron series is far more profitable for the league than anything else. With baseball being the only sport back by the time of the NBA's return, Adam Silver and league executives should see a chance to capitalize on the lack of live events. Zion versus the King could be a series talked about for years to come if it lives up to the hype. The team around Williamson is interesting as well, with the most polarizing players like Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram. Having been traded from the Lakers, revenge matchups proved to make a great playoff series, so a potential Lakers-Pelicans series would definitely be a lot of fun. Next up, we have the Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers have had an incredible, disappointing year. Damian Lillard is still producing offensively, but the team is sitting at 9th place in the West with a 29-37 record. They are a shell of the team that looked to be a challenger to the Warriors from last year. If they even make the playoffs, there is no chance they upset the Lakers or Clippers in the first round. And last of all, we have the Washington Wizards. The Wizards should be in the bubble. They did not have a good year, but having meaningful exhibition games will bring in more viewership revenue for the league. The Nets and Magic both could lose out and not make the playoffs, which would propel the Wizards into one of the final 2 spots. Did the Wizards have a season that should be rewarded this way? No, but the NBA needed a 19 for the Eastern Conference, and the Wizards were the best choice. They don't have John Wall, Bradley Beal, or Davis Bertans to lead the charge, so any time they have on the court will be dedicated to developing young guys like Rui Hachimura, Isaac Bonga, Troy Brown Jr., and Thomas Bryant.